Overthinking is the enemy of action. The more you think, the less you do. The more you take action, the more likely you are to proceed in taking more action. An object in motion tends to stay in motion, and an object at rest tends to stay at rest. Therefore, stop overthinking. Thinking begets more thinking. The more time that you take to think, the more time that you give yourself the ability to manifest thoughts that go against whatever action that you actually want to take. The more time that you give yourself to have thoughts that go, I can't do this, I'm afraid to do this, what if I fail, what if this goes wrong, every single worst case scenario, everything bad that could possibly happen, that happens in your mind because you give yourself time to think. You have the room to ruminate. Don't give yourself the room to ruminate. I want you to just cut that off and start taking action. Because the thing about action is that feeling that you get that manifests itself inside of you between the time it takes to have a thought of an action that you want to take and actually taking the action, what you feel bubbling up inside of you in between that is anxiety. If you don't give yourself time to overthink, you don't have time to form anxiety or feel anxiety. You're too busy doing, you're too busy performing. So sometimes you gotta just shoot the fifth and just make it happen. And besides, you don't have to take these feelings that you're feeling and attribute it to something negative automatically. Fun fact, the feelings of anxiety and excitement actually have the same physiological responses within your body. Those butterflies in your stomach, the sweaty palms, the breathing hard, the breathing heavy, it's the same whether you are excited or anxious. The only difference is how do you want to perceive it, right? The only difference is what polarity do you want to perceive this experience within? Do you perceive it as a positive or a negative experience? Because that's what's going to determine whether or not you view it as something to be excited about or something to be anxious about. Same physiological response within the body, but it's a whole different experience depending on how you want to label it. I mean, think about it. If you were excited about something, you're constantly thinking about it. You're constantly thinking about how things are going to go well. And you feel those feelings right now. You feel it in your body of how excited you are. Because you're constantly overthinking about this thing that's going well, that's going positively. You're excited about it. But on the negative end, you're going to feel anxious. You're going to be like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen. I hope this doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen. And you're going to constantly think about it. You're going to feel those feelings within your body. What you got to do is just stop overthinking altogether. Because here's the thing about having negative thoughts. It's not that they're more powerful than the positive ones. It's the fact that we listen to it more because it's louder. A negative thought screams louder than the whispers of something positive telling you that you can do something. So it's easy for you to get distracted when you're having these conflicting thoughts that are fighting each other, right? You're in your mind being like, I want to do this thing, but then you have that negative thought being like, you can't do this thing. It's screaming at you. Stop listening to that thought in your mind that's screaming at you. Listen to them whispers, you know what I'm saying? Listen to that small voice in the back of your head that's telling you of what you can do, what you can accomplish. Stop overthinking. Stop giving yourself time to allow these negative thoughts to creep in and impair your judgment and stop you from taking action. I need you to just throw yourself in the water and see whether or not you're going to sink or swim. And be indifferent to the outcome. It doesn't matter whether you sink or whether you swim because that's not what it's about. What it's about is actually taking the action. It's about doing what you wanted to do. It's about giving yourself a fair shot. You know what I'm saying? It's better for you to throw yourself in the water and try to see whether or not you're going to sink or swim rather than a flood to happen and you just drown anyway. You took no action and you drowned anyway. At least you gave yourself a fair shot. At least you tried. It's the trying, right? It's the effort that builds the character. It's the effort that matters. By allowing yourself to let fear and anxiety hold you back from actually taking the action that you want to take, you're truly being dishonest with yourself. You're truly not being fully congruent with who you want to be because who you want to be is the person talking to that person. Who you want to be is the person who is taking the opportunity to apply for this position. Who you want to be is the person who's giving this speech. Who you want to be is the person starting this YouTube channel. That's what you want to do, right? That's who you want to be. And by allowing anxiety to creep in and stop you from doing that, you are being inauthentic. You are not being true to yourself. You are not being real with yourself. You're not being real with your intentions. You're not being real with your desires. Be real with yourself. Be real with your desires. Be real with what you want. Next time you really want to do something, do the 1, 2, 3 method. Count to 3, and by the third count, you got to just do it. Just jump right on in and just do it. Straight up Nike, baby. Just do it. Just like literally 1, 2, 3. I'm talking to this person. 1, 2, 3. I'm singing this song. 1, 2, 3. I'm about to ask this person out. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you're afraid of, whatever it is that you are holding yourself back from doing, count to 3 and just make it happen. Just do it. Pass or fail, it doesn't matter. Have an indifference to outcome. The outcome is not what's important. What's important is building your character, building this relationship with yourself that is congruent with your true desires. We all have true desires of things that we actually want to do, right? You wanted to talk to this person. You wanted to ask this person out. You wanted to apply for this job. You wanted to say that speech. You wanted to sing in front of people. You wanted to do this thing. Whatever this thing is, you want to do it. That's your true desire. That's what you really feel. That's what you really want. Follow your gut, follow your heart. You really want to do this thing, but you're allowing these thoughts that keep on creeping up in your mind to impair your judgment and stop you from taking action. Don't allow the feelings of anxiety to creep up in your body and bubble up and make you think these negative thoughts. Think of it as excitement. Think of it as something to feel excited about. Think of it as you are alive. If you didn't feel these feelings, you wouldn't be alive, baby. You get what I'm saying? If you didn't feel excitement or anxiety, depending on the situation, you would not be alive. Those are only feelings that you could feel as a living person. That heart beating, them sweaty palms, the deep breathing, that means you're alive. Honor that. Honor that and take action. What is thy desire? What do you want? What is it that you want to do? What do you want to perform? What is it that you're trying to make happen? Go for it. Go for it. Stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about all the variables. It's not about the variables. You don't know what's going to happen. And you can try to plan as much as you want to plan, but planning is really just you wasting time. I'm not saying that every single plan is a waste of time. I'm saying that 9 times out of 10, we're planning because we're stalling. 9 times out of 10, this planning is really just you defeating the purpose of taking action. You're trying to think of all these different ways that you can do this thing instead of just doing the thing. But guess what? No plan survives first contact with reality. It doesn't matter how great you plan something. It doesn't matter how big of a plan that you have, how extensive of a plan that you have. It doesn't matter. No plan survives first contact with reality. Nothing is going to match up 100% with exactly what you put down, what you registered in your mind as what you thought was going to happen. Never. That's never going to happen. It could be damn close, but it ain't going to be perfect. And that's why planning, to a certain degree, is you just stalling and pushing something back. You could plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. You could plan every single type of cheese you want to have, every charcuterie board, every wine that you want to drink, the exact location, the exact blanket that you want to be sitting on. And it could be storming that day. It could be storming that day. You get what I'm saying? That park could catch on fire. Anything could happen. A meteorite could fall out the sky and land right directly onto your picnic. It's unlikely, but it could happen. You have no idea what's going to happen. You can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. The point being here that no plan is perfect. No plan survives first contact with reality. Planning, to some degree, for some people, is just another extension of overthinking, and I want you to stop overthinking. You got to start doing. You need to start taking action. Because the more you take action, the more results you get. The more answers you get. You get what I'm saying? If you want to do a scientific theory and you want to try to prove this theory to be correct, you got to test it. You got to test it multiple times before you can prove whether or not something is correct or incorrect, true or false. But if you're just sitting there writing down your theory over and over again, you don't test nothing, how you going to prove that it happened? How you going to prove that it's real? How you going to prove that your thoughts are correct? You can't. You got to do something. You got to take action. Experiment. By overthinking and overplanning and doing all of this rigmarole, you're giving yourself a scapegoat to be able to chicken out and bail if things don't go exactly according to plan or if things don't seem as if they're perfect. So you got to stop doing that. Stop giving yourself the ability to bail. Stop overthinking in general. Go for what you want in life. Whatever it is that you actually want. And by no means am I saying that you pursuing your desires means that you're automatically going to achieve or manifest these desires. By no means at all. Don't think that I'm going to sell you a dream that every single time that you take an action and every single time that you do something that it's going to work out in your favor. That's going to actually come into fruition. Not at all. Not at all. But you have a better likelihood and a better chance by you taking action than you doing nothing and just thinking about it. I want you to get this through your head right now, that just because you take action, it doesn't automatically mean that things are going to go right. Sometimes you're gonna fail. Sometimes you're gonna take a L. Sometimes you're gonna get rejected. Sometimes this person doesn't want to be your friend. Sometimes your speech is gonna go horribly. Sometimes your singing is gonna be bad. Sometimes your video is gonna flop on YouTube. Sometimes things are just not gonna go according to plan. And that's okay. That's okay, because we're indifferent to outcome. It's not about the outcome. It's about the experience. It's about you taking this time to form this relationship with yourself that says, I do what I actually want to do. I follow my desires. I follow my heart. I follow my gut. I follow my spirit. I follow my soul. This is what I want, so I'm going to pursue it. Let the chips fall where they may. May the odds be in my favor. It doesn't mean it's going to actually always come to fruition. It just means that I'm doing what is true to me. I am being authentic. I am being congruent with my true desires. I've asked myself, what is thy desire? I answered, and I tried to go and get it. That's better than somebody who's just sitting around on the sidelines thinking about what they want and then never pursuing, never doing. It's better. It's better. You are better off actually trying, because occasionally you are going to get what you want. Occasionally it is going to work out. Occasionally you are going to succeed. Occasionally that video goes viral. Occasionally that person actually likes you back. Occasionally you get that job. Occasionally that person wants to be your best friend. Occasionally things just go in the direction that you wanted them to go, but you would never know if you didn't take the action. You would never know if you sat there completely overthinking and overanalyzing and overplanning and over-strategizing, trying to figure out the perfect way to make this happen. Forget the perfect way. Just do it. Just do it. Yo, I'm telling you, shoot the fifth. Count 1, 2, 3 and make yourself do the thing that you want to do. Be congruent with yourself. Be authentic. Stop lying to yourself. Stop denying what you actually truly want. So long story short, overthinking is the enemy of action. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. Stay in motion. Stay taking action. Action begets more action. Thinking begets more thinking. Stop thinking so much and start doing. I want you to just take control over your life. Take control over what it is that you desire and go for it. Grab life by the horns. Stop thinking about these things that you want and just do. Proceed. You will become so much stronger in your emotional conviction within yourself. You will become so much more confident. You will build higher self-esteem because you will know for a fact that you are following what it is that you truly want. And a lot of times, even when people do reject you, even when things don't go well, a lot of times you still get respect. You still get honor. Even if that person rejects you, they'll be like, wow, it took a lot of courage to come and talk to me. It took a lot of courage to apply for this job. It took a lot of courage to get up there and sing. It took a lot of courage to do whatever it was. Sink or swim, pass or fail. It's not about the outcome. It's about the experience. We're trying to get these experiences. Because the more experiences that you get, the more you test in your hypothesis, the more eventually you're going to figure out whatever it is that you're trying to prove. So prove to yourself that you can do it. Because even if you fail, you did it. And a lot of people can't say that they've ever done it. A lot of people chicken out. A lot of people too afraid. A lot of people don't got the balls. A lot of people don't got it in them. You know what I'm saying? They don't got the guts. They don't got the heart. They're not going to pursue what they want to pursue. A lot of people are just going to go, I want this, but meh. Don't be that person. Go for what you want. Show yourself that you have the potential to go for what you want. Just do it. But hey, that's all I really wanted to say to y'all today. Overthinking is the enemy of action, so get out there and start taking action. I hope this message finds you well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you take some of this game that I gave you to actually start getting out there and taking some action. Be congruent with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Tell yourself who you are. Only you can tell yourself who you are, so tell yourself who you are. But as usual, I got to tell you, if you made it this far in the video, I really, really got to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because realistically, you could be anywhere in the world. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. So much love. I hope to see you in the next one. All right, peace.